All right, we are going to start off our Lords of the Fallen playthrough. I was going through a couple of these classes, and this is a game designed to torture us. So instead of playing something fun like a Crusader with a huge sword, a Warwolf with another huge sword, or even something fast and cool like an Exiled Stalker, we're going to play with the Bucket Wielder. This is going to be fun. All right, what do we look like? How are we going to look? There we go. That speaks to me. All right. Clearly, this is the. Oh yeah, emaciated, truly condemned. Oh boy, now we're talking. All right, let's get back to that hair color. All right, we've got this. We're we're ready to roll. What are we gonna name ourselves here? Hmm. Let's go with something so people will take us seriously. Lord Pinkskin. That won't be taken the wrong way at all. All right. Watch these cutscenes.
Lo, the latest receiver of his grace. Great potential dwells within you, doubtless, for you to be chosen thusly. And so does Aureus' wisdom guide my hand in the bestowment of this subsequent boon. Your flesh has been made sacrosanct with the mark of the Dark Crusaders. Prove yourself worthy of this gift. Seek me in the bowels of the bridge. Our work is of the greatest import.
All right, here we go. Yes, we're looking serious. We have our broken bucket, which does not scale well with anything but strength and agility. Gives us a little poison damage, no attack power, throwing hand, and a rock, of course. Medium head, light torso, medium arms, medium legs. I find that odd that it's not all the same set, like all medium or all light, but I guess it's sort of irrelevant. It's designed to be bad, but these numbers look big to me. Holy Fire Wither, 122, 119. All right, so I've been through the tutorial before. I'm going to kind of speed my way through it. If anybody needs any further help with it, feel free. The tutorial is very straightforward and self-explanatory, designed to be fairly easy to use and get through. I'm just putting it here for posterity's sake. And That's why we do it. I heard there was a way to drop kick, but that is not it. That is a nice move, but drop down into here, grab this little bit of loot, because I am going to, during this playthrough, try to grab as many things as I can, at least that I know about, just in my goofing around playing through, and then I'll play off stream as well and try to find more stuff by going around painstakingly slowly. This game is very punishing, so it wouldn't be very fun to watch me go through all the difficult parts, searching for items, dying, searching for items, dying, that sort of thing. Because some areas in the game you just need to literally light yourself on fire to go get an item, and you know, a lot of that stuff is just kind of wooden cross. Is that better than a broken bucket? Sure looks better. Alright, let's go with the cross. What is it? A one-handed axe? Are we doing the dual wield? We are. Alright, we're dual wielding hammers. Use our lantern to get through here. Alright, that was not as impressive with the width, but we're getting better. Ow, rude. Alright. Not the greatest, but we know at this part in the tutorial we just need to blast our way through. Do that annoying little drop. Switch over to the umbral. And yes, I play on mouse and keyboard because we have the controller set up on the laptop for the wife to play it. She prefers the controller. I'm just used to a mouse and keyboard, so it's easier to maintain it. I always feel like with more buttons comes more control over the game, and it feels better. Even though, I'll tell you what, these controls are awkward as hell. I had to change my block control to my thumb mouse button. And everything else I left the same, but it's very awkward. They definitely did not. But I mean, what Souls game really has good preset key bindings, to be honest? Like, they're all garbage. Corrupted Penitent bandages, are those better than mine? Blast our way through here, and you guys are free to go back and... Nope, those are even worse. Why didn't I start the game with those? I thought Corrupted was the hardest start. Okay. Go back and take your time and watch where I'm going and what I'm doing, because as far as I know, I'm grabbing at least 95% of what's in the tutorial for myself. I don't like leaving loot behind. It drives me crazy because late game, if you have a respec, I've only seen one place you can respec your character in this game, but if I do have a respec, that's partially why I like to start with the Condemned, so all my base stats you can see start at 9, which is not the minimum. Some classes have 8s, but those classes also start at, you know, level 12 or 13, whereas this class starts at level 1, so it's the cheapest. You can see it only costs 800 Vigor, I think it's called, to level up. And that makes it much easier to make a different custom character. Because I don't know what the end of the game on this is like. If I get to the end and find out I really hate great swords, I would hate to be trapped into great swords for the remainder of my playthrough. So I like the flexibility of being able to respec into anything I want. This game, this playthrough, what I'm going to do, since I would assume it would help the most, is I'm going to try to make the most generic character ever in terms of what weapon styles I can use. And I'm going to raise Strength, Agility, Radiance, and Inferno equally. We'll go over that a little bit later to sort of explain what we're doing here. Because I figure the thing most people are looking for online that I personally can't find when I'm looking through YouTube is the scaling of all the weapons. how well they work with different stats, because Wikipedias are garbage and they're wrong for the most part, at least the ones I've looked at. There's a lot of items that just don't line up. And, you know, with patches, there's going to be different items and all that. And I'm fine with that. But at the very least, it'll be one playthrough that people will be able to come to and look at items and say, I have high strength and agility. Will that weapon do more damage overall for me, or do I need to scale the radiance of it, or whatever, you know? So we'll give ourselves some strength. Next, we'll give ourselves agility. Oh, we're 2 points away. Okay. That's okay. We won't bother resting. We know this is a scripted death coming up. Or is it? Here, fat boy. This is where you're supposed to be learning how to parry. And I'm just learning how to block. Oh, nope, that's not good. Got him. Get mangled. That was a quick shot. I'm glad I moved away from that. Get mangled. All right.
Give me that lamp.
Alright guys, this is the tutorial boss. I'm clearly going to kill this guy. This is what I'd be doing. If I was here in real life, I'd be like, how do I get out of here? Ow. This dude spits lava. No thank you. Rude. Alright, do your little fire spit. I'll at least survive the initial fire burn so you can see what the Light Reaper looks like. I hope. Yeah, and now he'll be jumping off. There he is. Give me that lamp. Ow. Well, that was not intended, but there he is. You can actually beat him, but I've read online that you lock yourself out of a couple of quests if you actually beat him, and frankly, I'm not a big fan of wasting an hour doing chip damage to a big boss. It's like 10 times the effort and the exact same payoff, and in this game, you get punished for it. Certain NPCs die off, and apparently you lose them, and I got no vigor from killing that Lord Otto. Okay, alright, well, onward. Alright, that's the way they want you to go, but we're gonna go this way. And I will show you, as I believe this wall, this door, you can actually, if you go to the umbral, which I'll do it, I'll show it. You can actually try to open it. There's a little loop here, but you can try to open it, but it says the gate does not budge. So I haven't been to the point where that opens, so we'll have to remember that for later. There's a lot of stuff in this game I haven't yet gotten to, but we'll figure it out as we get there, and then we'll revisit this concept. Pop your little parasite. I love it. While we're playing the tutorial, we're looking like a professional racing. And then we're going to get to our first boss, thinking we know it all. And we're going to get our head kicked in. And now there are witnesses. Dang it. Alright. I always exhaust
I don't know, but since it making you a bigger
their dialogue options just because, frankly, the storyline in this game is not very impressive. It's very basic. He bad, we good. All right, we did 1 point in strength. Now we'll do 1 point in agility. Next, we'll be doing radiance, and we'll stay in Umbral right now because there's one of those spirit stories coming up here.
Sentinels! To the bridge!
And
Fall back! Fall back!
Where are you going? Help us!
oh, that's nice. Get a grievous wound proc on that guy. Oh, you little jukey McJukerson. All right. Sneaky little bugger. Ow. You guys are being very rude, frankly. And I'm being very sloppy. So, here's the easiest thing. If you ever run into a zone that you know you're going to need your health for, and you know it's going to be long, do this. If you walk up, you fight somebody, and you lose your health because you were playing it sloppy, just run right back to your last rest point. Rest. And then turn around and go try it again. The worst part about this game, like all of the bad things you hear from people about this game, seem to be when you play it sloppy and you hurry through. If you take your time, which I'll try to show on this playthrough, it's really not that terrible. And from a person who doesn't generally master Souls-like games, see, I'll bait these two. They'll come this way, much easier to manage if I take my time. See how much easier this is if I actually use my brain a little? Go ahead, hit the ground. You're the person I farmed for crosses. The fact that I'm using two of them should worry you. He did that twice. That strategy is not going to work, but yeah, if you take your time in this game and you really treat it like a RPG adventure, and you go through and you slowly work your way through all the bad guys and kill them one at a time and really take your time, I've found this game is 10 times better. That being said, it's very aggravating in certain parts, pretty much no matter what you do. So there are annoyances like that. There are way too many examples in this game of what not to do when designing a game. For example, having to pick up your vigor after you've died for 2 seconds often gets you hit for free from a boss while picking it up. And of course, it comes with the painful realization that if you fail to pick up your vigor and then you die again because you attempted to pick up your vigor, you will lose it permanently, which is really frustrating when you're trying to save up for higher levels. And yes, we will be over leveling this character if possible, just so we can enable ourselves to use every weapon in the game. The goal is to get enough points in this character to put 40 stat points into every damage stat. So we need to get, if we're planning on getting 40 strength, 40 agility, 40 radiance, and 40 inferno, that would take us forever. We would have to get to level 160 just to be able to, actually 164, just to be able to get us there. So what we're going to do, I think, instead, is we can earn up to 40 points at least. We'll probably be over level 40 or level 41, I guess it would be, to get one of these stats up to 40. But what we can do is we can just level beyond that, so say 60, so we have points to play with. And what we will do is we will take every item that we find at the mid game, because nobody wants a build designed around an item you find in the very late game. mid-game builds I find are what I'm always looking for when I'm looking online and searching around for what to play, because that's the build you're going to be playing 90% of the game. So what we'll do is we'll find all of the weapons and shield combinations we can. We'll put them all together in our inventory. We will get enough points to be able to dabble. And what we'll do is, for example, if you're looking at this, it scales with strength and agility, an E, right? And then if you level it up 2 levels, we'll be able to see, oh, E progresses to D minus, and, maybe agility progresses to D faster. So then I'll respec and put a temporary 40 points in my agility and see what this damage goes up to. And then I'll take those points off and I'll put 20 and 20, see what those points go up to. And then I'll take all those points off, put 40, see what those points go up to. And then I'll see how it scales beyond that. I'll put 40 and 20, that sort of thing. And we'll be able to see how weapons really scale, because that's the one thing that's not explained on any Wikipedia pages on this game that I've seen, is there really aren't any explanations. Like, everybody knows what scaling is, or most people do. Oh, what are these? This is a perfect example. So we have, let's remove this so we can just go with single weapons. Okay, so we have an axe here that has scaling of E and E with a base attack power of 89. And we have a sword here with D minus and D minus. The difference is +1, but I have 1 point in strength and 1 point in agility. So you really can't tell where that point's coming from. Is it a combination? Is it each individual stat? You really can't tell. I'm guessing from the name Broken Sword, that's probably not a great one, but it's a dagger style weapon. So perhaps the damage is low specifically to be a dagger style weapon. Maybe we could use a short sword and a dagger and it would feel better. So we'll dabble with some of these combinations. Good Lord, we have a lot of these crosses. But the whole point, I think, is to make sure. Actually, we'll try Broken Sword and Bucket. See what that looks like. Most ridiculous build of all time. Alright, let's see. Versus one-handed dagger. Oh, this is awesome. And by awesome, I mean atrocious. Okay. But anyway, we'll get to that point where we can test all the builds. So that way, because the thing I hate is wasting points in a game like this where you get punished for respecing. And so what we'll do is we'll test our way through it. And we'll see what's better for certain builds. If you want to be a strength build, will it be better to do, weapon 1, or will it be better to do weapon 2? And that'll hopefully help us out a little bit. Alright, we don't have any points to scale it, so... Oh, but this has bleed. Oh, maybe we'll go with that then. Yeah, much faster. Alright. Let's go get our butts kicked here. Ow, that's not cool. Oh, he one-shot me. That's not good. Let's pull your soul out. Beat it up a little bit. I couldn't parry. We're dead. Now that guy's gonna have our soul or our vigor. We were doing alright damage with this little sword, though. Let's go try it again. We're gonna be seeing this a lot. I just have a feeling. Alright. It's a good start, though. I like how fast this little sword attacks. Maybe we'll try it two-handed and see if that helps at all. Why can't I move? Oh, I'm out of stamina. Oh boy. Oh boy, what is with this attack style? It's really slow. What on earth are we doing here? Yeah, let that be a lesson to you. I'm guessing it does more damage per hit. We'll test it. No, sir. Remember, slow and steady wins the race in this game. Ooh, I really don't like that moveset. This seems much faster. Let's test the damage. I'm going to smack you once. 67. Smack you once with this. 42. What? 94. I'm very confused as to how that worked. We're going to have to test this further. $95. 42. What? What's happening with this? Oh, is that the bleed? Oh, I think that's the bleed. 95. So we're doing 95. So then the regular hit. 67. Okay. So it's 50% more. Why are you chasing me like that, homie? I'm trying to do testing. So it's actually quite a bit more damage for a little loss in speed. I'm fine with that. Go back up here. Kill this guy. In a straightforward manner. Okay, rude. You both get stomped for that. That's what happens. Let's make sure there's nobody that's going to mess with us from around here. Okay. This has decent damage on it when it's two-handed. Alright, we stupendously slammed into the wall there. That was clearly intended. Corrupted Penitent Cape. What is that? Oh, it's better damage and better fire resist. Seems beneficial versus this gentleman. As long as our encumbrance doesn't go from this medium tab to this heavy tab, we're not fat rolling, so we can still do this. Oh, I can't see. Oh boy, we are barely able to block once before our stamina's gone. Parry a bunch. Ooh, dodge that. Parry, gotcha. Get a quick hit in. Uh-oh. Parry. That was quite a few predictable attacks. Charge a big attack, get a hit on, and now we get to be sloppy, just swing as rapidly as possible to get our vigor back. Oh, I see you, wizard, out there. I see you. See? Slow and steady wins the race in this game. It really does. I say that as I'm sprinting towards a wizard, dodging fireballs to hit him in the face. I realize the irony in my statements. I also realize, thanks to my wife's assistance, that I am a moron most of the time. What was that noise? Okay. The sound effects in this game, I swear. Haha! Well, I'll go get that later. No, sir. No spells for you. Pick up items, pick up items, pick up items. This little short sword and one hand... Oh, raw mangler axe. Let's see what that looks like. Hallowed Condemnation. We're doing all physical. 70 bleed. Mangler axe. Oh, we need some Inferno to get that in. Oh, okay. It only scales on Inferno. So one thing that like a good example of what I'm trying to accomplish with this before we log off for this episode is this sword, you can see, obviously does 70 bleed damage and 75 plus 1 physical. So which one of these stats scales that physical better? If I put 40 points here, is it going to give me plus 40? And if I put 40 points here, is it only going to give me plus 20? I don't know. And nowhere out there says that really, because these D minuses do not always add up. Sometimes a D minus on a short sword will give you less points than a D minus on a great sword or a D minus on a hammer or axe or whatever. So a good example of this too is if you look at the raw mangler axe here, it has 60 burn chance and C minus Inferno scaling. But what someone might not realize is the attack power of 88 doesn't tell the whole story. 44 physical plus 44 fire tells the whole story. And the fire you can see is the only thing that scales with your Inferno. So if you're planning on doing a generic build, like, hey, I want to hit people for physical damage, but then I want to cast Inferno spells. Oh, look, this weapon scales off Inferno. You're actually going to be even weaker than you expect against fire resistant enemies because the damage that scales on this axe is going to be all fire. You're not going to be doing hardly any physical damage. So you're very vulnerable to your resistant monsters and that sort of thing. And hopefully we'll be able to see that more going forward because it seems pretty straightforward that this just says 44 physical with no plus after it. It seems straightforward. So, and I also find it weird that I can use it without the proper stats, but I'm assuming my damage will be like 10 if I do that. So we'll go back and then we'll log off for this episode and we'll be back in a moment.